Hello and welcome to Cold Takes. With this being my first video on the channel, I'd like to start off by stating that I myself am against hot take culture and what it does to the sports media. I believe that it promotes uneducated or purposely polarizing opinions that are designed for user interaction and engagement rather than honest and educated opinions. I do understand that this video could be taken as a hot take, as Nashville is currently considered the winner of this year's offseason. However, I will attempt to display my argument as a valid theory rather than a piece of content meant to get likes or views. With that being said, on to the video. Steven Stamkos is fresh off of a 40-goal, 81-point season as a 34-year-old who only missed 2 regular season games. Stamkos also had 5 goals and 6 points in 5 postseason games. I understand that it may be hard to believe that he may be the next Milan Lucic or Sven Berchi, but Stamkos has an $8 million cap hit for 4 years to play on his new contract and is moving to a team with a much worse power play while being a power play specialist. Tampa's power play was top ranked in the 23-24 season with a 28.6 conversion percentage, whereas Nashville was ranked number 16, or league average, with a 21.6 conversion percentage. Nashville's power play will most likely improve with Stamkos on the roster, and Tampa's may decline depending on how Jake Gensel meshes with their power play. However, Steven Stamkos still scored 39 of his 81 points on Tampa's top-ranked power play. Those 39 points are 48% of his total points, and he coincidentally also scored 48% of his goals on the man advantage as well. I do not think it is unrealistic to assume that his power play production and also his total production will go down on his new team. I'd like to move on to advanced metrics in order to talk accurately about Stamkos' play at even strength. I will evaluate his metrics for each of 6 different categories of analytics. Those analytics are his elite power play skills, shooting, playmaking and puck possession, loose puck retrievals, or LPRs for short, face-offs, and his defensive metrics. All of the metrics are measured either as a percentage or an amount per 20 minutes of Stamkos' ice time. Next to each number is the approximate percentile that Stamkos' stat ranks of all NHL players in that specific metric. To start off with the advanced analytics, I would like to point out what makes Stamkos such an elite force on the power play. To begin with, his power play scoring chances per 20 minutes is 6.24. Now, 6.24 scoring chances on a power play is great for any individual power play, but ranks in the 95th percentile for individual players. Stamkos' next ranking stat would be his offensive zone rebound loose puck retrievals per 20 minutes, which would be 2.37, which then has him in the 90th percentile for all NHL players. Stamkos is also above league average in his possession success rate at a 75.7%, which ranks him in the 55th percentile. Stamkos is also talented at controlled entries with a successful play-after rate, which would rank at a 61%. Stamkos' power play true shooting percentage is at a 9.8%, or the 60th percentile, while his even strength shooting percentage is in the 75th percentile. His shooting percentage does improve from a 7.4 to a 9.8 when on the man advantage. No matter what, Stamkos is still an elite player on the power play, and I expect no less in his tenure in Nashville. One of Stamkos' greatest assets is his shot, and shots generally do not decrease with age. His shot from both inside and outside the slot have both increased slightly from the 2022-2023 season. Like mentioned previously, Stamkos' true shooting percentage at even strength is a 7.4% in the 75th percentile. His shots from the slot success rate are at a 59.2% in the 35th percentile, and his outside shot success rate is a 46.9% in the 10th percentile. While the percentiles may seem low, keep in mind The player with one shot and one goal would then be in the 100th percentile. So you should weigh the averages more than the percentiles in order to gather an accurate estimate on Stamkos' shooting potentials. Stamkos' playmaking and puck possession metrics are where the decrease in his offensive game at even strength becomes seemingly apparent, as 7 different metrics have regressed from the 22-23 season, 1 metric has stayed the same, and 4 metrics improved by an average of 5.7% and 0.19 per 20 minutes. Stamkos' metrics are as follows. His ozone possession time per 20 minutes was at 30 seconds, in the 65th percentile, which actually stayed the same from the previous season. His ozone possession success rate was at a 58.2% in the 45th percentile, which decreased by 2.1 percentage. His possession driving plays per 20 minutes was at a 13.5 in the 35th percentile, which decreased by 0.6 every 20 minutes. His ozone offensive generating plays per 20 actually increased from the past season at an 8.03 per 20 minutes in the 85th percentile. His ozone open ice deke success rate decreased by an 8.4 percentage to become a 37.5% in the 30th percentile. His pass to the slot success rate had the biggest drop from the previous season, which was at a 35.8% in the 25th percentile, which decreased by a whopping 14.2%. Stamkos' off-the-cycle scoring chances for per 20 minutes became a 2.98 in the 85th percentile, which did decrease by 0.18. His controlled entries per 20 also decreased to become a 3.87 in the 60th percentile, and that decreased by a 0.47. The next 3 stats all increased from his previous season. His controlled entry with the successful play after rate became a 56.2 percentage in the 65th percentile. His percentage of ozone entries resulting in a scoring chance were impressively at a 31.5%, which ranked him in the 95th percentile, and his off-the-rush scoring chances for per 20 were at a 2.31 in the 70th percentile. His final playmaking and puck possession metric were his first assists per 20 minutes, which were at a 0.18 in the 40th percentile, which decreased by almost a whole assist at a 0.9 per 20 minutes. So to summarize, ozone possession, possession driving plays, cycle scoring chances, and control entries all minorly regressed, but open ice deking regressed by almost a tenth, passing to the slot by almost 15%, and also Stamkos lost about 3 assists per 60 minutes of ice time between the 22-23 and 23-24 seasons. A part of Stamkos' game, which may not be strong, but definitely improved from the previous season, are his loose puck retrievals. His loose puck retrievals are a major improvement for Stamkos, other than in the defensive zone. All of his offensive and neutral zone metrics have improved. Stamkos' offensive zone loose puck retrievals per 20 were at a 6.71 in the 30th percentile. His rebound LPRs in the offensive zone per 20 were at a 0.74 in the 60th percentile. His offensive zone contested LPRs per 20 were at a 0.81 in the 15th percentile. And his ozone contested LPR's winning percentage was at a 23.5% in the 55th percentile, all of which improved from the previous season. His neutral zone loose puck receptions per 20 were at 2.38 in the 20th percentile, which also improved. Stamkos' metrics which did not improve were his defensive zone loose puck retrievals per 20, which were at a 5.28 in the 10th percentile, and his D-zone rebound loose puck retrievals per 20, which were at a 0.25 in the 5th percentile. Stamkos' winning percentage for faceoffs in the offensive and defensive zones went down. However, all of the metrics that have a positive result coming from a faceoff have improved, meaning the design of the faceoff worked at a higher rate than last season, even if Stamkos did not win the faceoff. Stamkos' ozone faceoff percentage decreased to a 47.8 in the 65th percentile, and his D-zone faceoff percentage decreased to a 55.4% in the 65th percentile. However, His percentage of ozone faceoffs resulting in a shot on net increased to a 25.8% in the 50th percentile. His percentage of ozone faceoffs resulting in a scoring chance increased to a 23.7% in the 80th percentile, and his percentage of D-zone faceoffs resulting in a clean D-zone exit increased to a 54.1% in the 60th percentile. Stamkos' defensive play is well below league average, as he is at or below the 30th percentile for all but two of the metrics displayed. Other than the rate of shots blocked and defensive plays made in all three zones, all of his metrics have regressed, meaning 7 out of 12 metrics have shown regression in Stamkos' defensive game. Stamkos' D-zone, neutral zone, and O-zone defensive plays per 20 all increased to be in the 30th, 5th, and 10th percentile, and vice versa, increased his total defensive plays per 20 to be in the 10th percentile. However, his controlled exits per 20, D-zone possession success rate, and block passes all decreased, as well as Stamkos' dump out success rate, D-zone true turnover rate, shot block success rate, D-zone block passes per 20, and D-zone controlled entry denial rate all decreased. The only stat on this second page that increased was his block shots per 20, which is kind of nullified due to the fact that his shot block success rate dropped. These defensive metric regressions may be the biggest reason why this contract could age incredibly poorly. If Stamkos' goal-scoring ability regresses due to age, his power play production regresses due to moving to a less than elite power play, or his skating regresses, which it does seem to be currently on the track to due to the regression in playmaking and puck possession metrics, then his production on the power play may not be worth the amount of goals that get scored on Nashville when Stamkos is on the ice. Stamkos' expected goals against per 20 minutes has increased from 1.13 to 1.26 from the 22-23 season to the 23-24 season. To summarize, I believe that Steven Stamkos at $8 million by 4 years has the potential to be the worst signing this free agency because of his skating, defensive, and playmaking regression at even strength. I want to reiterate that this is meant to be a deep dive into an individual player rather than some guy's random controversial opinion that was designed to be put on TikTok and farm engagement to grow a brand. This is my first video on the channel, so if anyone has any corrections, advice, or tips on how to improve my content, then please let me know in the comments.